morning, Admirals. I'm Jack Russos, and welcome to the first episode of AdmiralTV this semester. Today, you'll learn about Martin Luther King Jr. Day, hear about Bayside's basketball team, and hear two beautiful songs. Speaking of which, you may have heard of Patterson's hilarious parody of Jingle Bells called Squatted Trucks, and if you haven't, you can watch it on the AdmiralTV YouTube channel. However, Taylor set out to really figure out the story, climax, and mind behind the music. In a documentary-style video, take it away, Patterson.
I'm Patterson Brannion, aka Young Savage Pilot, and I'm the voice and talent behind Squatted Trucks, the parody of Jingle Bells. When I originally wrote Squatted Trucks, I did not realize the impact that it would have on the world. Boy, was I wrong. For days, I couldn't leave my house without being swarmed by paparazzi wanting autographs and pictures. I guess that's what happens when you have, a quarter K views on SoundCloud. But things went downhill from there. I didn't have the kind of flow that I used to have. When I released Aviate, it just didn't have that same style and feel as Squatted Trucks. I couldn't keep my head above the water. I was faced with an economic depression. I dropped out of school, thinking I was going to be a millionaire. Boy, was I foolish. After my downfall, and when I started my first solo flight, I realized that my passion was not for the studio, but instead for the cockpit. And so, with that, my dream is to be a commercial pilot. Thanks for hearing my story. Back to you, Jack.
On Monday, schools across the country were out to commemorate a very special person in recent history. Martin Luther King Jr. was an American Baptist minister and activist who became the most visible spokesman and leader in the civil rights movement. Let's hear more about him and learn about his history.
Martin Luther King Jr. Day is a holiday in the United States marking the birthday of Martin Luther King Jr. It celebrates the life and achievements of MLK, an influential American civil rights leader and Baptist minister. King sought equality and human rights for African Americans and all victims of injustice through peaceful protest. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia, and moved to Montgomery, Alabama after being wed in 1953. The King family had been living in Montgomery for less than a year when the highly segregated city became the center of the struggle for civil rights in America. The Montgomery bus boycott placed a severe economic strain on public transit systems and downtown business owners. Protesters chose MLK to represent them in their struggle. Later that year, King worked with a number of civil rights groups to organize the March on Washington, a peaceful political rally designed to shed light on the injustices Black Americans faced across the country. Attended by some to 200 to 300,000 participants, the event is widely regarded as a remarkable moment in the history of the civil rights movement. The March on Washington featured King's most famous address, known as the I Have a Dream speech, a spirited call for peace and equality. Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebrates the life and legacy of a man who brought hope and healing to America. His words were inspiring, but they weren't just the words that he voiced. He actually lived a life fighting for freedom and justice.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Admiral sports, such as soccer, baseball, and tennis, are starting to go into full swing this spring. Tennis is starting practice after school today, and baseball tomorrow. Soccer practice has already started, but no games have been scheduled yet. As for baseball, the first game is scheduled for February 11th against Gulf Shores. There have been 3 basketball games scheduled for tonight. The boys' JV team, varsity, and girls' varsity teams are all playing at home against Orange Beach High School. Be sure to wish the Bayside basketball players good luck or come out and support the teams. Wednesday, January 20th, from 7 to 4, Bayside Academy is holding its annual blood drive. The blood drive will be held in front of the TFJ Family Library. Students who are 17 years of age and older can donate blood. Those who are 16 can donate too, but only if their parents have signed a permission slip. The presidential inauguration is January 20th, this Wednesday. The inauguration will begin at 11 a.m., 12 p.m. Eastern Time. During the inauguration, Joe Biden will be sworn in as the 46th President of the United States. This will be the conclusion to one of the most dramatic presidential races in history. That's all for the episode today. Thank you for watching this week's episode, and if you want to see more, check out the AdmiralTV live stream or the AdmiralTV YouTube channel for more. But stick around for the credits to see a special segment made by the best singing seniors on campus. I'm Jack Russos. Have a great week and go Admirals.
Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting when the evening comes, watching the ships roll in, then I'll watch them roll away again. Yeah,
Sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time.
I left my home in Georgia, headed for the Frisco Bay, 'cause I've had nothing to live for, and look like nothing's gonna come my way.
So I'm gonna sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time.
Look like nothing's gonna change, everything still remains the same. I can do what 10 people tell me to do, so I guess I remain the same. Sitting here resting my bones, and this loneliness won't leave me alone. This 2,000 miles I've roamed just to make this dock my home. Now, sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Oh, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time.